Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome to your family's mental wellness. Today we have a good one. We have a good one. Today we're going to talk about 7 signs of hold on, I want to try. I am echoing, so I'm trying to remove it. Okay, we are back. We are back. If you are watching, thank you for joining us today. Today will be the end of the broadcast on grief. We've done grief. We focused on grief for the last 4 episodes. Today, I'm just going to talk about the symptoms of complicated grief. 7 symptoms of complicated grief. Now, if you're interested in the subject of grief, on the September 3rd, we are offering a course, a 3-hour course on grief counseling, grief coaching, grief helping, grief caring, grief pastoring, whatever your title is. We are going to be giving you tools that would help you to be able to handle a lot of people who are going through grief. You're a leader, parishioner, a church leader, community leader. These are tools. If you're interested, drop us your mail, drop us a chat. If you're on Facebook, just say, I'm interested, and we follow up with it. If you are on YouTube, also follow us or drop us a chat, we'll follow up with it. If you are none of these places and you want to reach us directly, the email is info@timfa.org. info at timfa, TIM for mango, F for Frank, A for Apple.org. That's how to reach us by email. If you want to reach us by phone, that phone number is +1 281 701 7850. You can reach us through all of it. Now, if you followed our course, you've heard me say that grief is a normal reaction to losing something or someone that is valuable to us. The normal reaction that we feel, that we express to losing something. There are psychological reactions, there are emotional reactions, there are behavioral reactions. Those are all our reaction, how we manage losing someone or something. So somebody saying something, yes, something, losing our job, changing vehicle, losing our house, losing, sometimes just losing a friendship, breakup of friendship. All those things lead to us reacting to losing that thing. William Bowlby, who was an expert on grief, he said that we grieve because we are wired to attach. We attach to things we know. We become comfortable with them, and therefore we grieve. So 7 symptoms of complicated grief. Now, let me say, grief is normal. So when does it become complicated? It becomes complicated when we are not progressing in the normal progression of grief. Someone have identified 5 stages of grief, 5 things or 5 phases or stages we go through to the end of grief. If we're not progressing, and I'm not talking about time, there are no timelines, but if we're not progressing normally, then it becomes complicated. If we are still on stage 1, 2 years after, that becomes complicated. So I'm going to talk about those signs of complicated grief. But if you're a counselor, what you're really going to see the people you're going to see are people who are suffering from complicated grief. But because let's face it, if they are able to handle it, you won't see them. If it's normal, you're unlikely to see them coming to you for help because they are dealing with it just as they've dealt with other things. So oftentimes people will come to you because their grief process has become prolonged or complicated, or they have issues that have developed as a result of grief. They've become depressed, which is part of the stages, but the depression has taken center stage and they are not able to move forward. Now, in normal grief, like losing a job, normal grief like losing money, normal grief like losing business, normal grief like losing an office, getting evicted from an apartment, having to move for kids, having to move from one city to the other. For kids, grief might also come from changing school. One major part of grief is losing marriage, going through divorce with grief. And for children, it's even more complicated because now they lose dad or mom, they lose school, they have to change school if there are movements, they lose friends. That happens to all of us. But for the adults, we tend to prepare for it because divorce doesn't happen one day. But while we are delaying it, walking through it, the kids are often shielded from it. They don't know the progression of how much the marriage has deteriorated. They have no idea because we're telling them everything is going to be all right. Mommy and daddy are just having a problem. We're just having issues, but it's going to be all right. We're trying to manage their feelings, to manage the damage on them. And finally, we drop it on them that mommy and daddy are going to be divorcing. We are moving, we drop the plan. So it is a little more difficult for kids when it comes to divorce. Losing physical mobility. If you are getting older like I am, there are things that used to work, things you could do before, but you stop being able to do them. A lot of people grieve over that. A friend of mine was just sharing that his mom is no longer able to drive. The mom is 82, was driving until 2 months ago, but she couldn't drive. And she's mourning that. The ability to drive is no longer what she has. So she's mourning that. So we mourn even losing our driver's license. We mourn when we retire from a job. Initially, it's excitement, but ultimately it becomes a problem because now we have the time, we have the freedom. We're saying, what do I do now? You've done one thing for the last 30, 40 years, and suddenly you don't know what to do with your time. Same thing in marriage. You've had the same partner for 20, 30, 10 years, whatever, and now you're alone. So so we grieve as a result of those. A robbery or assault can make us feel unsafe. It's also part of we grieve. Automobile accidents can also make us not be comfortable with driving. Actually, that's what happened to my friend's mom. She was backing out from grocery store and backed into someone, and since then she developed this phobia, this fear of driving. And finally, they've been telling her to stop driving for a while. She wouldn't. But when she backed into someone, the fear and the anxiety of that finally made her say, I'm not driving anymore. I'm not driving anymore. So she came up with that decision. But it hasn't been easy because she kind of felt like this is the last thing I have to hold on to. You guys made me move from my apartment, my house to an apartment. You've made me not do a lot of things. But driving, I'm not giving up. But she had to give that up. So, what are the signs of complicated grief? Complicated grief. What are the signs and characteristics of complicated grief? As I said, complicated grief is grief that is not normal. We are crying on incessant, keep crying. We're having these episodes of crying, and it's lasted for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That's unsustainable. So that means it's complicated. So one of the signs of it is persistent anger. Persistent anger. You are just angry. It doesn't matter what who the anger is directed at or what it's directed at. You are angry. Sometimes it's directed at God. Sometimes it's directed at people around you. Sometimes it's directed at yourself. You're blaming yourself for not doing what you think you could have done to stop it. So when we have that, we also is accompanied by irritation or irritability. Everything just rubs you the wrong way. Someone says good morning, it doesn't feel good to hear that. And sometimes it can go into episodes of rage. So we go from anger that is managed, that is emotional expression, to rage that we're actually doing physical stuff to demonstrate or to express that anger. That's a sign of complicated grief or complicated grief. Anger, irritation, episodic rage. We are having that. That's the sign. Inability to focus on anything. Lack of concentration. And I'm not talking about momentarily, just constantly. Lack of concentration. Inability to focus. Sometimes having a conversation, the person stops midway to making a sentence. That's a sign that you identify there. Sometimes it's just someone comes, takes you out, say, let's go out, let's go eat. That's something you used to do. But you go there, you enjoy it, momentarily, you lose interest. Your mind is somewhere else. Or you want to write a letter, or you want to read, can't read, want to watch your television, want to watch something that you like to enjoy. But after a few minutes or seconds, you lose interest. One other thing associated, another sign that is close to that is losing interest in the things you normally enjoy, things that make you, that used to be a relaxation thing. It's a fun thing for you, but suddenly zero interest, zero energy, zero anything to do with it. And this manifests a little bit more with childhood grief. When you see a child who was a soccer player, who plays video game, or that was one of those things. You can't stop him, you can't pull him out from that. Constantly, they enjoy it. Suddenly, they don't want to play soccer. They don't want to play violin. They don't want to go to taekwondo. They don't want to go to any of those things. They don't want to talk to their friends. So that's sign number 3, losing interest in the things you normally enjoy. Excessive avoidance of reminders of the loss. Excessive avoidance of reminders of the loss. I don't want to see anything that will remind me of the person that I lost, of the thing that I lost. We avoid it because we feel bad. It triggers negative feelings in us. So we try to avoid it to the point that we don't even want to come near it. Some people might change house. Some people might be afraid of going back to the house where they shared with the person. Might not want to go back to the church. I've had people change their lives the whole life. Move location, move city, not just move house, move location, change friendship, change all that. Trying to avoid anything that would remind you of the person or thing you lost. So that's sign number three. Number four. Number five would be intense feeling of sadness, pain, detachment, sorrow, emptiness, low self-esteem. All these are potpourris of the feelings and emotions that go through us. The key here is that it's intense sadness, pervasive sadness, almost to the borderline of depression. Just sad. Nothing makes you happy. Nothing makes you happy. People see your face, they see sadness. You know you're sad. And sometimes it's not really, you can't connect it to the love, but it just has become a state. You're not thinking about the loved one, but you're still sad. So it's just pain. Sometimes there are pains, different parts of our body that we experience. Detachment, maybe isolation. You might call it isolation. Isolation meaning you're not wanting to talk to anybody. You're not wanting to really hang out with anybody. Even picking up the phone from your best friend, you look at it, you're tired. You look at it, you really don't have the energy to want to talk. You know, no joy. That's isolation. Feeling of hopelessness. Someone asked me some time ago and said, what is the difference between grief and depression? Depression comes with hopelessness. That's the front and center of it. Lack of self-worth, feeling I have no reason to live. But for grief, doesn't always come with this hopelessness thing. May come with a global, a general hopelessness of things. Is this how life is? Is this how it's going to end? As opposed to for grief is this how my life is going to end? Me, they personalize the experience. Whereas in grief, we tend to generalize it. So this is it. We just live, we just die. We talk more we think more in existential range than in depression when we personalize whatever it is, we personalize it. That's one difference. Emptiness, feeling empty, that's close to that. Not really feeling like you have anything, no self-esteem. What left? That's it. That's number five. Number six, problem accepting the reality. Problem with accepting that this person is gone and gone. And this can be demonstrated in several ways. And that the person will always that the person says, no, I don't believe he's gone. That's the first reaction in denial, the first thing. Well, we talk about denial. But this is really problem moving on. I'll give you one clear example. Years ago, I had a client who went through a divorce. But for many years, my client kept up with the house as it was before the spouse left. Everything was there, closets set their way, the house furniture, the pictures. Now, when we talk about those who excessively avoid anything that will remind them of the loss, this particular sign is someone who wants to hug onto the loss, attached to it, don't want to lose anything about the person or the thing they have lost excessively. So down to this particular person keeping the phone number, the voicemail on the phone that they have at the time. You have reached Mr. and Mrs. XYZ, keeping that as it is. That's complicated grief. The spouse have moved on, probably remarried, done their thing, but we're still holding on to hope. Now, for Christians, you may be saying, my faith is telling me this person will come back. So I'm going to hold on to it. I'm not going to change anything because he's coming back. And secondly, the more you hold on to those things, it's also a reminder to build your faith. That may be the explanation. But for most people in complicated grief, it's not that. It is that we don't want to let go. We don't want to let go. So we want to leave everything the way it is. His chair or her chair, where she normally sits, stays there. That's there for him. He's gone. 2 years. He's not coming back. Well, as far as we know. But that person is still holding on to it. Still holding on to the identity. In divorce, this also shows when there is divorce, you see a woman, they have a struggle of identity. How do I do now? Do I answer his name? Am I still Mrs. Him, even though we are divorced? Do I go back to my maiden name? Do I just answer my name? Well, some people will just say outrightly, I am still Mrs. Him. I'm not going to change it. When I practice law, there are people who struggle with the man saying, and I want you to change my name. Don't ever answer my name anymore. Don't answer my name. I want to make sure that you move on so there's nothing connected between us. And the lady is saying, well, that's my name. That's my identity. I don't care about you, but I'm going to keep my name. That's I've had this name for 20 years. So there are people who hold on to that. So problem accepting reality of the Lord can be seen in the behavior of that person. A few months ago, a couple of months ago, someone asked me, or someone called me and said, well, people are blaming me. They're saying I'm still wearing his ring, even though he's been gone. That means I'm not ready to move on. And she said, no, it really has nothing to do with him. It has more to do with me. I feel awkward not wearing the ring because I've worn it for so long. But some people actually wear it because they still believe that somehow, the person will come back. In divorce, I'm talking about. Somehow, this marriage will be revived and will come back. So they wear the ring. If that's what the reason for wearing it, then that's what this is talking about. Problems accepting the reality of the Lord. So when people come to me and say, hey, should I wear my ring or should I take off my ring? My spouse is late. Now this is what do I do? Or I'm divorced. My answer is always, why do you want to wear your ring? If the answer is, it makes me comfortable. It's uncomfortable because I've worn it for most of my life, or for 20 years, 30 years. So my answer is whatever makes you comfortable. But if we're wearing it because we still believe that someday something would happen, then the next question will be, okay, are you believing because of your religion and faith, or are you just hoping without hanging it onto anything? If it's your faith, you believe, trust in God, that he will come back. And I can't interrupt that. Yeah, go ahead. That's between you and God, and whatever God is talking to you. But if you're just hoping without anything backing it up, then it's what we are talking about. You're having problems accepting the loss, the divorce, the death, the disease, whatever it is, the eviction. Some people drive around their old house. Some people, when they've lost their house to eviction or to mortgage or to foreclosure, they keep their address for a long, long time. The house been taken, people bought it, moved on, but it's still your address. You're still carrying it. The attachment is still there. A client of mine told me that from time to time, she would drive to her old house and just park her car in front of the house and cry. So that's difficulty accepting the loss. That's number 6. Number 7, self-destructive behavior. Coping with the wrong thing. Can't cope normally. Now you need stuff to cope. You need alcohol to cope. You need substance, drugs to cope. Some just explode, become sexually promiscuous. Some just keep hanging onto relationships. They go from one to the other, still seeking to fill the void that is left. Excessive self-destructive behavior. In that sense, we're not really processing things well. We're not saying, is this what I want to do? We're not saying, do I really want to engage in this relationship? Is this person right or wrong? We just dive into it because we have a sense of a holiness that we want to feel. So, and I've had clients who are grieving, and from time to time they will ask me, when people are asking me to get married, people are suggesting, my friends are kind of setting me up and doing all that. I don't feel like it, but I feel like it will help me move on. They will come to me and they say, what do you think? What do you think? And I say, depending on where they are, if they've gone through the stages of grief, if I sense them and I feel that they've gone through it, this is where they are, I might say, okay, I think you're moving to the stage where you are rebuilding your life. You're accepting the reality of what happened. You've gone to that stage. The next level is to rebuild your life. Only you will say when you're ready for a new relationship. But for some, because of the pressure and those suggestions, they begin to delve into relationship, hoping that it will assuage the pain. And oftentimes it doesn't. It creates more problems. You're not ready. You're not ready for relationship. At least not ready for that kind of relationship. Have someone who will be a friend and help you, support you, perhaps. But oftentimes those things come with benefit. They come with attachment and expectation. Are you going to be able? Are you there? That part also takes adjusting too. It takes adjusting too. Rob and I were talking about it the other day. It takes adjusting too. If you been naked before someone for 20 years, 30 years, and now you have to do that before someone else, it takes adjustment to do it. And let's face it, when you started being naked before your spouse, you were young. Your body was in shape. You probably have six pack or no pack. Now your body is not really the best. And now you have to stand before someone that was a stranger until a month ago, 2 months ago. So it takes adjustment to do. Are you ready for all that? So those are the signs of complicated grief. If you're feeling any of those things, if your client is feeling any of those things, it's being expressed. It is complicated grief that requires intervention. If you're interested in the interventions, how to help someone to heal from complicated grief, please join our course. Think about signing up for grief counseling and love. Grief and loss counseling. We are offering that September 5th, September 3rd, which is next week. Again, leave your comments, leave a message, or send us an email at info@tinfa.org. Info, I-N-F-O. Tinfa is T for Tom, I for India, M for Mango, F for Frank, A for Apple.org. We'll be sure to respond to you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Next week, we have a brand new topic that we're going to go into. So this marks the end of grief. If you are here and you want to watch our other broadcasts, please go to our Facebook page. It's the Institute for Marriage and Family Affairs. All our videos are there. Childhood grief. What did we talk about last week? All those topics are there. So you can abreast yourself of them. God bless you. I'll see you all